And I tell you a secret, I've been hit by the poinsettia craze. This time of year is when people can't get enough of these holiday plants. But the problem is that they don't last. So whether you pronounce it poinsettia or poinsettia, in this video, I'm going to show you how to keep these holiday plants thriving for months, but more importantly, how to take care of them and keep them alive. Let's get to it. Did you know that poinsettias are actually from Mexico? They are a tropical plant, so that means that they like climates that are nice and warm and humid. During the late fall is when many of the big box stores here in the United States sell poinsettias. Now, the good thing is that you can get them on big discounts. Sometimes you can get them as low as $1. Now, the bad news is that because it's a cooler climate, sometimes the climate here in the United States is not suitable for these holiday plants. Sure you don't want to talk to me about what are you going to do with them? You have a whole cart. Good luck. And this guy has a whole full cart of poinsettias that he is bringing home, and they are $24.98. Now, he just admitted that he doesn't know how to take care of them, so that is why it's so important to make sure that you watch this entire video, because if you are interested in getting these beautiful holiday plants, it's important that they last throughout the season. Now, the key is choosing the right poinsettia. You want to set yourself up for success. So if you go to a store and you see a rack full of poinsettia and it's near the front door, you don't want to choose that. Poinsettias hate drafty areas. So skip the poinsettias that are on a rack near the front door or entrance. That poinsettia probably is already suffering. So you want to choose a poinsettia that is inside the store, nice and cozy. Don't want to pick ones that are on racks that are near drafty areas. What I love about poinsettias is that they come in all different types of sizes. They come in small varieties like this one and big ones like this one, and they have different colors. Some of them are white, pink, and that beautiful red you see often in the big box stores. The thing that I learned about poinsettia is that the leaves are called bracts and that they're used to attract pollinators. That's the reason why they have this beautiful bright red. And this is the flower right here. So if you are picking out a poinsettia, you want to make sure that it's completely red or completely white or whatever it is. If this color is starting to change, you want to skip that poinsettia, because most likely the color will fade a couple of weeks after you get it home. Now, the secret to choosing a poinsettia is to really examine it closely. It should be all one color. Any leaves that look like they're fading, you don't want to get. Any leaves that look like they're drooping, you want to pass. You can see this one is a little droopy. So this is a poinsettia, even though it's huge and nice and big, this is something that you want to pass on. I try to avoid poinsettias that are two-tone because it's harder to take care of them. When they're one color, it's easier. When they're two colors, you have to make sure that both colors don't fade. So if you are a beginner, I would stick with the poinsettias that are one color. Here's another tip to keep in mind when choosing your poinsettia. You want to choose a poinsettia that has tight blooms in the middle, not the leaves, but the flower in the center. That should be nice and tight. The more tighter it is, the newer the poinsettia is. It's important that you don't remove the plastic once you take it out of the store. The plastic is there to keep it nice and warm. So make sure you don't choose a poinsettia without a plastic. I know it's very tempting to remove the plastic so you can get that full effect, but again, remember to leave the plastic on and remove it once you get home. Now let's take a deeper dive into the care of poinsettias. I'm in my basement right now, and this is not the ideal spot for a poinsettia. You want your poinsettia to be in an area where it's getting bright light. So a basement is not the place where you want to keep these beautiful holiday plants. The best place to put them is in an area where it's getting at least 6 hours of bright light, and that's a bay window, an east-facing window, or in your kitchen where there's getting a lot of light, or in your living room. Now, once you find the desired spot for them, you don't want to be pressing their leaves against against a cold window. That will prompt the leaves to prematurely fall off. So you want to put it in a spot where there's not a lot of drafts at all, and you don't want to put it near a radiator or heat source, because that again will lead to the leaves falling off. As for the temperature, these plants are a little like us. If you're nice and comfy, they will be nice and comfy. If you're cold, they will get cold. If you're hot, you know it, they will also be hot. So pick a spot that is neutral. If you feel comfortable in that spot, your poinsettia will also feel comfortable as well. Now, when it comes to watering, you want to be careful with your poinsettia. You don't want to overwater. I water at least once a week, but the best way to test to see if your holiday plant needs water is just to dip your finger in the soil like this. If it's moist, then it doesn't need water. If it's dry, then it needs to be watered. Poinsettias always come in these beautiful decorative foil wrapping, and they're great to look at, but it's not great for watering. Now, when you water, you want to make sure you remove your poinsettia from the wrapper. If you want to keep it, what you can do is cut a hole right in the middle to make sure that all that water is not staying in the wrapper. If you don't do that, what will happen is that your poinsettia may end up getting root rot because it's sitting in standing water. Poinsettias do not like to have their roots very wet, just moist, not wet. So remember just to cut a hole in the bottom. If you want to keep the wrapper, cut a hole in the bottom and it should be fine. If you're concerned about leakage, what you can do is use this plastic saucer and put the pot on the saucer. That way, when the water drains from the pot, it'll go right into the saucer and not make a mess. Here is a bonus tip that you can do that will create a humid environment for these beautiful holiday plants. What you can do is fill a saucer up with rocks, just like this. And you pour water in the saucer. Now, once you do that, you want to put your poinsettia right on top of it. Now, you don't want the pot to be touching the water. You want to put it right on the rocks, just like that. That will create an environment where the humidity will come up. By doing that, that creates an artificial humid environment for the plant. Did you know poinsettias can live for years? That's right. You don't have to toss them out in the trash after the holiday is over. Poinsettia plants can survive after the holiday season. While many people toss poinsettia plants at the end of the winter, these plants can live for multiple years. After the winter holiday passes, continue to care for your poinsettia as you have been. That means providing bright yet indirect light, keeping the temperature warm, and watering when the soil begins to dry. Even if you provide your plant with the proper care, it will begin to drop its leaves in the beginning or middle of spring. Don't worry, that's normal. Simply remove the fallen leaves from the soil surface to help prevent disease and keep your plant tidy. After you've cleaned up the leaves, it's time to prune. You can start by removing 2 to 3 inches off each branch. This will encourage the production of side shoots and lead to a fuller plant. It's a good idea to repot it into a larger container before summer arrives. This will give the plant room to expand and allows you to inspect the plant's roots. Your plant will begin putting on new growth in mid to late summer. Fertilizing will also help provide the plant the necessary nutrients to complete this process. Fertilize your poinsettia about once every 2 weeks from midsummer to early fall. Now, this is the tricky part. Poinsettias need long periods of darkness to produce those beautiful red leaves called bracts. They need to have complete darkness for 16 hours each night. The area must be completely dark, not just dim. Continue this long night treatment until the end of November. When December arrives, you can care for your poinsettia and it will be as beautiful as brand new. So guys, thank you so much for joining me here on my channel, The Determined Gardener. I hope you got a lot of good information on how to take care of your poinsettia or poinsettia, however you want to pronounce it. It is very cold out here, so I'm going to wrap up this video. If you happen to be going to the big box stores, there's lots of holiday wreaths that are on display right now. I happen to have made a video on how to take care of your holiday wreath if you want to have it last throughout the season. That's a video you definitely want to check out. Again, thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with your family and friends. Until next time, guys, happy gardening. Bye-bye.